Very, very good. Now I'm going to go next to Luke Ford. Luke Ford's book is The History of X. And Luke, let me ask you, how did you get into this whole gossiping about the adult film industry?
I was a struggling mainstream actor who couldn't make a living from acting, and so I thought I need some way of distinguishing myself to break out of the pack. And I thought what I need to do is write a book. And I thought I want to write a book that people will read, that many people will buy. Has to be something about sex, and then I started trying to narrow it down to something that had not been done. There hasn't really been a comprehensive history of porn since 1975, so I thought I'll do a history of sex in film.
You know, we have a caller right now, then we'll get back to you, Luke. Caller.
How you doing?
You're on with Harley. Hey, how you doing?
Not too bad. What's up, brother?
Can we turn him up? I can't hear him.
Are you there?
Yeah. All right, let's continue on here. So, Luke, you had said you continue on.
I thought I'd write a book, and I developed thousands of pages of notes from researching the history of the sex industry. And eventually I started up a website, lukeford.com, in the summer of 1997 with sort of the notes left over from my book. And then I started updating it on a regular basis when the industry's HIV crisis broke through in early 1998, and that's what really made the website prominent.
The site's very interesting. It's free to look at. People can find out all the news in the adult industry. You're actually a good writer. You have some experience in that?
Yeah, well, I've been a journalist since my teens. My father's written about 20 books, and my mother's published 2. And so writing's in the family. And
your father's not Stephen King, is he?
No. And no one else was really doing what I was doing, daily updates on the industry and treating the industry like any other industry, treating it fairly seriously, interviewing people, being suspicious of what they tell you, not just allowing people to use you to sell their product. And so it's attracted thousands of hits. And
how many hits do you get per day?
About 70,000 a day.
70,000 hits? Wow. Have you been on the Luke Ford site, Angel?
Not yet. I'll check that when I get home.
I think I've been on it. But I have to admit that everything that he wrote in there, because I did go through a bad period, it's all true. His facts, he gets the facts down.
Now, Luke gets a lot of flack from people. Some people want to kill you.
Well, sure. That's because they don't want to admit the truth. He gets down. He gets the truth, the nitty-gritty.
And where do you get all your information from, more or less? Because
from people like Alicia Rio, who call me up and tell me what's going on, from people who know Alicia Rio, from fans of Alicia Rio, say, hey, I saw her at this club and she put on a great show, she put on a bad show. I get talked to people in the industry, I mean, company owners from Steve Hirsch to Russ Hampshire to adult video news publisher Paul Fishbein. I just have dozens of people emailing me every day, and I'm always hitting the phone and calling.
And is this the industry you were really looking to get into?
No,
or are you looking to like do something else? I mean, I look at your reading. You could be a reporter for, well, I'm reading his writing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it from my point of view. Hey, you stay out of this. That you could be on Entertainment Tonight or the E!
Yeah,
Channel,
I wanted to get into
these.
television news, and I worked for a radio station in Sacramento in the news department for several years. And so journalism is my background, but I think my heroes would be great political figures like Winston Churchill, who also wrote about a dozen books on the history of the British Empire, George Washington, who helped found the United States, Abraham Lincoln. These were my heroes, along with biblical figures like Moses and King David.
Wow, that's some pretty heavy stuff. Ah, pretty interesting.
My father's a Christian theologian, and so I was raised very deeply within religion. And that, in part, probably accounts for why I'm writing on pornography as a rebellion against the religious strictures in which I was raised. Even though I still lead a fairly religious life, I'm certainly in touch with wanting to put moral boundaries behind you and just indulge. And so it's this, I think, the tension between what my religion demands of me and what my testosterone demands of me, which gives the side its somewhat neurotic flavor.
How important is sex to you? Actually, how many times do you have sex? Do you have a normal girlfriend, not in the business, or do you date people in the adult industry?
This industry has considerably diminished my sexual appetite. It's like I used to have these great dreams of illicit sex with lots of women, and then I got into this industry and I saw what that does to a lot of people, and I mean, I just lost much of my sexual appetite. Now I just want to get married. I want one wife, monogamous, you know, lights out,
I know a girl in
missionary
Minnesota
position.
who's a school teacher. She's looking for a nice man like yourself.
Nice
Educated.
Jewish girl. Is she Jewish? I need a nice Jewish girl, have kids, like white
Beautiful,
picket
nice
fence.
frizzy hair. We have a. I was bummed out all day.
I was
You know?
too.
Yeah, he's been in the industry since 1980 and good friend and worker for Mark Carrier at Leisure Time Entertainment. Widely known in the industry. He's been married to several porn stars from Sandra Summers to Blondie B. And
So with Ginger Lynn for a long time.
right, he was with Crystal Gold. And of course this sent a shockwave through the industry, and immediately everyone that he's worked with and people who've worked with those people were immediately put on quarantine. They were tested and retested, and so far it appears that everyone who's worked with him is HIV free. And that's largely thanks to the fairly stringent testing that the pornography industry has implemented since the Mark Wallace and
Right.
other HIV outbreaks in early 1998. Now everyone has to take a PCR DNA